Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show to talk about some NBA news, so we're going to get right into it here. So we're talking about some teams that are showing interest in Dorian Finney-Smith and Royce O'Neal out of the Brooklyn Nets. So let's get into it. So, teams showing interest in Dorian Finney-Smith as of this moment: the Lakers, the Mavericks, the Bucks, the Thunder, the Suns, and the Kings. So there are teams that are showing some interest in Dorian Finney-Smith. But I'll read something funny about Dorian Smith here in a second, after I get into talking about this. But teams showing interest in Royce O'Neal: the Mavericks, the Nuggets, the Pacers, the Bucks, Timberwolves, Suns, and the Kings. So the Suns and the Kings are both interested in Dorian Finney-Smith and Royce O'Neal. How are the Suns supposed to trade for him or any other team when they're rejecting a lot of picks? Like, for it, Dorian Finney-Smith is a solid role player. Royce O'Neal, they're both solid role players. I mean, Dorian Finney-Smith isn't as good in Brooklyn Nets as he was in Dallas, but he's still a serviceable role player. Royce O'Neal is a good defender and three-point threat at times. But this was a pretty funny post here. The Brooklyn Nets rejected an offer of 2 first-rounders for Dorian Finney-Smith at the NY Post Lewis. The Brooklyn Nets front office is filled with fucking idiots. Because you're getting offered 2 first-round picks, you accept that trade immediately. 2 first-round picks for Dorian Finney-Smith? Come on, you accept that immediately. But they rejected the offer. I don't know what's their plan. Like, who do the Nets think Dorian Finney-Smith is? Like, I guess he's staying a Net if they didn't accept this. I guess he's gonna stay a Brooklyn Net. Like, I thought this wasn't a real report. Maybe protected picks. It's gotta be 2 lottery protected from a perennial top team that conveys to a second after 1 to 2 years if this was real. Who they think he is, LeBron James, but the Brooklyn Nets GM is the man retarded. Like, what is Brooklyn smoking rejecting some of these offers? Who cares? Like, first-rounders are first-rounders. The more picks you have that aren't yours, the better package you can create. But yeah, that's just my point. It's like, first-rounders are first-rounders. Like, to get an offer of 2 first-round picks for Dorian Finney-Smith, it doesn't matter. This team ain't a contending team. Like, I take the deal regardless of placement of picks in a heartbeat. Like, the Nets front office must have mental illness. Because I don't get what they're doing. You should have just taken that immediately. So, Trae Young. The last 2 seasons. Last year, 26.2 points per game and 10.2 assists per game. No All-Star. This year, 27.0 points per game and 10.9 assists per game. No All-Star. Yeah, he low-key got snubbed again, man. Like, Trae Young's been so underrated this year, putting up 27 and 10 this year. Last year, 26 and 10, and no All-Star appearances to show for it. Like, they might have something against him. Oh, no defense. I guess 8th in the league in steals, which is pretty good, I guess. But that's literally not his job. But I guess they hold him to a different standard. But yeah, he has the most 25 points per game seasons without being an All-Star in NBA history. Like, the NBA has to have something against this man. But here's your East and West All-Star reserves: Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, Bam Adebayo, Julius Randle, Tyrese Maxey, and Paolo Banchero. For the East All-Star reserves. For the West All-Star reserves: Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, Steph Curry, Paul George, and Karl Anthony Towns. So I wonder who will be the starter with Embiid out. I don't know. I mean, Paolo Banchero, I'll say, is deserving. I'll say everybody here is deserving, but I would have put Donovan Mitchell. I was about to say Donovan Mitchell or something. I was about to say Trae Young. At least over, let's say, like Jalen, maybe Paulo. I'd say these are deserving All-Stars for the reserves. I would say De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis were 2 snubs as well from the Kings.
You win games on talent, but you have to win games in the playoffs on toughness and method. You have to be.
But I mean, to be honest, no one wants to watch Sabonis in the All-Star game.
And this team here, to me, they're mentally, they got great talent. But they're
So we got some breaking news today about Joel Embiid. And the big news was Joel Embiid suffered a torn meniscus. Huge news for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Like Chuck said, with our talent, we can beat these guys, and the other guys came to play. But again,
he tore it against Golden State. He was probably already injured. But he was only pressured against Golden State because the media pressured him to play unhealthy. So maybe it wasn't. He hurt his leg in a completely different situation. He just felt the pressure to play, I guess. But Nick Nurse and the Sixers organization should have been like in that game, you're not playing Embiid. I don't care about that MVP. We need you healthy for the long term. And now he's injured because of being down by 12. Shouldn't have been in that game against the Warriors. So there's this source from David Pingalore. Hearing from NBA peeps, King James, LeBron James, is the top of the Lakers list to trade. The 39-year-old Pelinka is looking for the right team to dance with and is close to a suitor. I don't know if this is a real source, but I mean, remember, apparently from 2019, it said Kawhi Leonard is highly likely and leaning more so to sign a deal with the Clippers. I mean, imagine if this is true, LeBron gets traded. That doesn't make much sense though. Like, you don't just end quote find a suitor for LeBron James. If he actually wants to get traded, he tells you where he wants to go. I mean, I don't think this is actually true, but if it is, Jesus. So Kendrick Perkins, he left Anthony Davis and Steph Curry off his NBA All-Star ballot. Why does Kendrick Perkins get a vote? Kendrick Perkins' opinion doesn't matter. He's such a joke. But Kendrick Perkins never gives good takes most of the time. So Jason Tatum teamed up with Porzingis. Kobe really needed Powell for those last 2 championships that they won together. Whatever path I'm on and we're on, KP really feels like the missing piece. Man, this dude won't let the Kobe gimmick go. Let it go. Can we just let Kobe rest in peace? KP is no Pau Gasol. Like, the Kobe session's getting weird to this dude. Bro compared Tingus Pingus to Pau. Like, yeah, he's a more skilled player, but he's never, like, fully healthy every year. Like, he's always missing a lot of games. This is an insane comparison. This dude just can't let that gimmick go. The Nets are determined to move at least Royce O'Neal or Dorian Finney-Smith before the deadline, if not both, per at Amico Hoops. Nets players reading their names in the trade rumors are probably like, yes. You can trade back to the Mavericks if you wanted to. I mean, they're both solid role players, I guess. I think one of them will get traded. Nick Wright says he's taking Jimmy Butler over Jason Tatum in Game 7. Everyone that knows ball would, so. Nick Claxton could be available for trade. And quote, I've heard more than once this week, not to discount the idea that Brooklyn big man Nick Claxton could be available over the next 7 days than previously advertised. There are mixed signals in circulation about the Nets' plans with Claxton are as unrestricted free agency looms this summer. I think there's a chance they could trade him. Obviously, will they do it? You might have to do it. I mean, get some. I think you can get some good draft capital for Nick Claxton. At least some. If you get maybe 2 first-round picks, 1 or 2, you take it. So Steve Clifford, Hornets coach, talked about his team. And quote, our problems aren't their effort, their work, how much they want to win. Our problem is that we're under-talented. Steve Clifford on the Hornets. He basically just called them bums without saying it. He just said his own team is trash. Oh, this franchise is poverty. He straight up calls his players trash. Pendeo face. So, per your report, oh boy, the Detroit Pistons were close to trading Killian Hayes before Monty Williams stepped in. Oh boy, what would the Detroit Pistons do without Killian Hayes? Dude, Monty Williams is so terrible, I swear. Oh, for saving his player. Yeah, what are you going to save Killian Hayes from? Save him from being the worst team in the league? Probably the worst player in the league? Like, this dude is trash. Like, who let bro cook? Single-handedly destroying the Pistons. They're not serious about winning. Joel Embiid is no longer the favorite to win the MVP, and Nikola Jokic is now the favorite. So there's a chance he can win a third MVP in a row if Embiid doesn't get to 65 games played. Nick Wright says the Lakers should trade LeBron James to the Heat for Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. Nick Wright is the worst sports television anchor, and it isn't even close. What the hell is he talking about?
It's a great honor.
But that's all the NBA news talking about here, so until next time, Peace.